All right, well, welcome back to the Partially Cooked podcast.
Thank
Brad.
you for having me. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. You earned your spot back. Came in crushing Marcus. Dude, that joke you said where you didn't know if he sold Pokemon cards or crack.
Yeah.
That was a good one. That was really funny.
Initially, I wrote that joke for JP Ford when we did
It fits.
It fits either way.
Yeah,
It
really does.
It fits either way. So when you're dealing with a person that has like a broad range, you can, take a little bit of here, a little bit of there, but it can be applied to, a lot of different fascinations.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. I love Pokemon cards.
And he loves crack, so.
yeah, I mean,
Oh, man. If I had the chance. No one's ever offered,
Nobody's ever offered me crack either. I guess I give off a no
I think crack
vibes.
is that thing where you just have to kind of know someone that's doing it.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
like if I've never done crack, but I don't know that I would take crack from someone that offered it to me.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I wouldn't.
Yeah, of course
No,
not.
no.
And maybe I'd give that
Yeah,
vibe.
yeah. Like if I wanted to do crack, I think I could just go find it. I don't think it's
Right.
that hard to find.
Or
Okay.
make, probably, even,
I bet there's a YouTube video on it somewhere.
Yeah, I bet there is too.
Yeah.
Watch a lot of Breaking Bad, figure it out.
Well, how have you been, man? It's
Good.
been a couple months since you've been on here.
It has been a few months since I've been on the Partially Cooked podcast, and I'm glad to be back. Things are good. Things are really good.
Yeah, anything new going on in your life? Anything jarring?
Jarring.
You look like you're dressed like you just took out a CEO.
I did think about getting a mask on the way up here,
Yeah.
just to heighten the persona.
Yeah.
No, nothing too crazy. Spending a lot of time at home lately and focusing on writing every day, and just trying to develop more. I find that with my style of writing, I write like I talk and I ramble.
Mm-hmm.
So that doesn't translate well to good stand-up. You can just be up there for way too long,
Right.
and just circling the wagons.
Well, I mean-
you're not getting anywhere. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know what I mean. So
Yeah. It's
focusing
good, though,
on
that you write like you talk, because a lot of people, when they first start, they do stand-up and they'll write everything out and they'll talk like they write.
Yeah.
Or
And-
they talk like the person that they idolize.
Mhm.
You have a
Yeah, that's a
tendency
big
to
deal.
want to
There's a lot of that, yeah.
because you're still finding your footing.
Mhm.
You
Right.
know. So as far as writing goes, I'm just trying to trim the fat on. I'll look at it and then I go back and I go back and I
Yeah.
go back and I keep looking at it, and then I might make myself sick and go do something else for a minute. But
Did
I
you
hear
find
you.
yourself in your first attempts at stand-up emulating another comic that you've watched a lot?
I think the worry was to not do that.
Right. So you were hyper focused on not doing that.
I think everyone sort of falls into it, especially in the beginning, with what you want to say or how you want to say it. You do take cues from professional comedians that are successful or comics that you like, and you try to emulate what
Right.
they do because they're successful. You think, well, then if I just do what they do, I'll be successful.
Right. And it's
And-
funny to me. So
And what you forget is they, depending on the structure of how they got to their status or whatever, they're popular because of who they are as a person or what they say, what their mind is, or what's in their heart, not because they wanted to be the next so-and-so.
Right.
We
The
have
best
a-
comics are the people that are true to themselves and have a
yeah.
very unique voice.
I think what resonates with the audience and with other comedians is authenticity.
Mhm.
I
Right.
think I may not like someone's stand-up, but I know that it's coming from them as a creative person, and I can respect that, and I can have a good discussion and be friends with people that I don't find necessarily like side, oh my God, that was hilarious, but I see the genuine nature of it as opposed to someone that just wants to get famous from
Right.
TikTok or
And
something.
usually somebody that falls into that camp, pretty quickly they'll start like pulling jokes from Reddit or
Yeah.
doing little street jokes or doing something that just it's not authentic.
Yeah.
How many times have you been to an open mic somewhere and you saw a person get up on stage and they told a joke that was essentially a meme that you've already seen on Facebook?
Right.
Oh,
or-
dude, yes.
So I mean, like they put it out there as if they wrote it. You're like,
Right.
bitch, I've seen that 100 times.
right today.
Exactly.
And you
exactly.
did too. And we all know it.
Yeah, yeah,
There's no sense in that.
I've been guilty of that. I had a joke about which I still have the joke. I've changed it now, but a guy wearing a T-shirt had a shotgun on it, said, "We don't dial 911," and I was doing a joke like, "What if his kid breaks his leg at the playground? Sorry, Billy, we don't dial 911."
Right.
But I found later a meme of that, almost that exact same thing, except it's with the grandma.
Oh no!
So it's not his kid, it's a grandma. Right. But I was like, I gotta change that joke.
Yeah,
like I gotta.
I guess that's really fine line to walk down, because I have that joke about end road work. Like I was, I don't care about a lot of stuff, but I saw a sign for a cause I think I could get behind on the way here tonight. It said end road work.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, all right. I'm always getting caught up. Where do I? And then I saw plenty of memes about that. So it's like, all right, that's probably got to die.
Yeah,
it's probably got to die.
And it's different if you're coming at it from an authentic place. Then you may have not have heard it before, but the second you see it out there, you're like, okay, I've got to change something. I've got to either change it enough to where it's my own thing, or just drop it altogether. Because,
right. Well, the idea, an idea can be universal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a concept or an idea, like we could all get inspired by it, but you just want to do your best to be as genuine to yourself so that you're not, guilty of lazy thinking.
Right. And also, I don't want to
taking someone else's.
I don't ever want to be like, go to a different city and be doing stand up and the comics are like, I've heard that, or I've seen that. Or they can pull up a meme of one of your jokes. Like, that's soul crushing.
Right. Yeah. They don't know you've been doing that for years.
Right.
They have no idea. That's a very good point. Imagine it's everyone's first time seeing you ever. So yeah. And probably their last.
And your act has to evolve, over time. And I've seen comics where they have a joke and it's their joke, but somebody else makes their joke into a meme. And then that gets traction and goes everywhere. And it's like, they came up with it first, technically, but they do have to drop it because, nobody's going to respect it.
And then it's burnt, and then you can't.
It's over now.
It's over.
And then you just got to move on to the next one.
You should have got famous first before the meme.
Right. So we were talking about the healthcare CEO. Like, what? Do you think that guy did it? Do you think that's the guy?
Oh, Luigi?
Uh-huh.
I don't know that he's the person that orchestrated it, or necessarily if he was or was not the person that pulled the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
From the from the news that's been put out about what they found on him, which I thought was really interesting.
Highly suspicious.
Really interesting that you would commit a brazen murder in Manhattan on a weekday before sunrise, and you kept the shit on you.
Kept the manifesto, kept the pistol,
for 5
I felt
days,
like if you wrote a manifesto, isn't there? You didn't carry it on you. You know what I mean? Like you could put that out there. Did we learn nothing from the Zodiac Killer?
I'm just saying, man. And then also,
people don't read newspapers anymore.
No.
Everybody's been talking about the eyebrows, how he's got really bushy, almost unibrow eyes. Then you look at the picture from the CCTV, and the guy's clearly has a gap between his eyebrows.
Right.
And so I'm just like, and then they also said that the gun that they found on him was consistent with the shell casings they found at the scene. And I'm like, that's just so suspicious.
I tell you the biggest thing because I see a story that's fascinating that has a lot of sort of, but we're just now learning a lot about it too, and we're learning more about him. Have you seen the footage? Well, he was from Hawaii, is that right? He lived in Hawaii for a while.
Yeah.
And he had some sort of accident where he's surfing and he hurt his back.
Then he had the surgery, and he's got the pins in his back and stuff.
So am I correct in hearing that the basis for this attack, which what we need when we get done with this, we got to talk about how we got to protect our other CEOs.
Amen.
Got to keep those guys safe, guys and girls.
I'm the CEO of a small business, so it's only a matter of time before somebody tries to shoot me.
Someone's definitely going to kill you
Yeah.
sooner or later.
Yeah.
What I found interesting was severe back pain, and he said that he couldn't have sex because the back pain was so severe.
Yeah, I read that too.
Here's my question. How do you get shredded 6-pack abs and you can't do crunches? You see that picture of him in Hawaii, he's shirtless, and he's not just
Is that
skinny
before the surgery? Or
doesn't matter.
I mean, yeah, if that's before the surgery, then that's how he got the 6-pack.
So I think because he was in that place for like 6 to 8 months, and they were saying then that the accident was causing damage to an injury he already sustained. So he was already going without sex.
Okay.
And then decided he had had enough of that and was going to commit this murder. But I don't know how you could be in severe back pain and be shredded.
I don't know how you can be in severe back pain enough to not be able to have sex, but enough to gun somebody down and then run away, get on a city bike or whatever, and escape New York City. Like,
and make your way to Pennsylvania and get caught him at a McDonald's.
And also, like, he matched the description, so we called him in, but he was wearing a mask and a hood. How did he match? Look, his eyes match the description? Because they clearly fucking don't.
I don't know. I got a lot of, you know me. I could go on for a long time.
What do you think happened?
I'm not getting a lot of sex, and I don't have six-pack abs.
Right. So I will. Okay. So to play devil's advocate, not that I believe this at all, but if you just had surgery and you're still in a lot of back pain, you can't really eat well, and you're probably straining your core a lot every time you get up and walk, and so like that combination of not eating for a while and straining your core for a long time could lead to ripped abs.
How many people do you know that have had lower back surgery?
I don't know. Yeah, no.
Because I've never seen any of them that.
I could see it happening though. Man.
Maybe a
That's
UFC
sciatica.
fighter, maybe.
That's sciatica, or like a lifter, dude. If you lift weights, like a deadlift, I've nearly broken my back deadlifting. And
I've watched some videos. I mean, I've never done it, but I've watched some videos and make you people like literally shit their intestines out.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
My brother had to help out. They were trying to move an arcade at Chuck E. Cheese back in the early 2000s when my brother worked there, and the guy tried to do it by himself, and he did exactly that.
He evacuated his bowels.
Yeah, they had to. He had to get like a.
You know what? And Chuck E. Cheese is going to tell him to go fuck off. They're not helping him.
Right.
No.
Like, hey, you shouldn't have done that on your own.
Yeah.
We have dollies.
We have witnesses saying you did it. Dummy.
You weren't even wearing a lifting belt.
They stole like the helmet for the duck. Like during the birthday parties, they would have like someone come dressed out as Chuck E. Cheese and the other characters that were dancing on stage. And so at one point they stole the duck or the dog. And like my buddy had it in his room forever. It was crazy.
You want to come back to my place and see my duck mask?
See the dog and get the.
Yes, I'll hook up with you, but you have to wear the duck mask.
Wouldn't be too far off from today's ladies' novels of today's. Man, this is some freaky shit going on in the books. It's pretty exciting. Are you
I don't
experiencing
read
that at all?
No, I don't read.
Your significant other at all?
She reads, but she typically tends to read more biographies and books about history than she does
Okay.
anything else. Like I've seen her read like maybe like one book by an author that she likes, who typically doesn't write murder mystery romance novels or whatever. But she found one that she kind of got into. But look at me, dude. I don't read. I don't know anything about it.
What do you do for fun? What do you do as a hobby?
I wait for Bair to ask me to come on a podcast.
That's it. You just sit in the living room waiting.
Literally, when he texted me this afternoon or this morning, I was on my way home from the grocery store, and I was like, I'm just like trying to find a cool way to say what time, because I have nothing else going on.
Do you get into like standby mode when you know you got something coming up later that day, where you just kind of like spend all day waiting for it?
No. As a parent and a spouse, I don't have a lot of time. That would cut into my other activities that I have to get done. You know, chores around the house and taking care of the kids and things like that. So, not typically. If I've got something I've got to do, I try not to get super anxious about it. If anything, I just try to be prepared. Like I absolutely, the whole way up here, I knew I was going to be a few minutes late, and it bothered the absolute shit out of me. I hate being late.
I hate being late too.
Cannot stand it.
Yeah.
I got to the point where now when I have a show booked, I will show up an hour early. And I've had comics be like, dude, you can't do that. You don't look cool. You look like desperate. Like, and I was like,
Wrong.
no. I was on my way to Wichita once to do the loony bin out there, and I had left like 2 hours early, and then like every couple hours I would hit another traffic jam where there was a big wreck or something happened, and I ended up showing up to the show. Like I showed up to the club, and they were like, all right, here's the credits for the headliner and the feature, and you're going up right now.
Right.
And ever since then, I was like, all right, I'm leaving hella early.
It seems like you tried to set yourself up for success. Even then, you left 2 hours before you even had to be there. So, but again, you just can't predict it, especially on I-40, dude.
Right.
Like I like to say that truckers come from all over America to come and flip their semis right here, where 430 and 40 meet, right over here where 30 and 40 meet. Like, dude, it is. Are you gonna be home tonight, Daddy? I don't know, buddy. I gotta flip my shit.
Dude, I have a personal vendetta against truckers, and now I know we've got truckers that are comics in our scene.
We may have truckers that listen. I hope.
Yeah, we may have truckers that listen.
We love you,
and Seth loves you, and I will tell you that. And you are the backbone of this country. You work hard and you deliver goods all over the country that we absolutely need, and I get it, and that's awesome. But why the fuck do you ride together in both lanes and just cruise at like 40 miles an hour? And just neither one of you will pass each other, never let anybody else pass. Like, it drives me fucking insane.
I know what it is. It's their secret technology that
is
allows them to the self-driving cars. They've had it for years. The Simpsons showed it. Do you remember that episode of The Simpsons?
No, I wasn't allowed to watch The Simpsons growing up.
I wasn't either.
Well, brother,
as a result, as an adult, I just never really watched it.
I don't know. I'm excited to tell you, you can watch it now, dude.
I know there's no restrictions.
It's on Disney Plus.
Yeah, but there's like 35 seasons of it, and like, I don't want to go back and catch up on everything. Like, that's too much. That's too much of an endeavor.
Yeah, I don't know even where to start.
Right.
I mean, I guess episode 1, but that's dog shit, But there's an episode where Homer becomes a trucker, and he's like got this secret technology where the trucks drive themselves, and he has to like keep it a secret.
It's the people that piss me off on the road the most
riveting.
are truckers, man. It's just like they're either riding your ass trying the speed limit 75 and they're trying to go 95, or they're going 40,
right?
And there's no fucking in between at all.
Yeah, or their hands are all rough at the truck stops.
What?
Their hands are all rough when they touch you. It's all leathery palms.
How much are truckers touching you, Seth?
I don't know, dude, but chapstick makes a lot better kisses, gentlemen.
I don't know about this podcast, but I think Seth has some fans that are truckers.
I love truckers. Do you remember the truck? On my way to our first episode.
Oh, yeah.
The fucking truck showed up. It was a truck with multiple trucks painted on the truck. Oh my God, dude. It was the best day of my life, I think. I think a lot of shit changed that day for my life. Like, I think shit started swiveling into my destiny, I don't know if you know, every move you make that isn't taking you towards your destiny is like swimming against the current of a river, man. You just got to go with the flow and find the truck.
Yep. Well, Brad, this time around, you're going to have to go against Donnie. We just did her podcast. You're going to have to go against Adam Maldonado. Do you know who that is?
Yeah, I've seen it.
He's from Memphis. And then we're going to have Nick Moore and Zeb Ballantyne, our current champion.
Current champion, Zeb.
And there's one more.
Who saw that coming out?
No, that's all of them.
That was like a
Red is the fifth one.
I'm the fifth one.
Oh, yeah, okay. Duh. Yeah.
I didn't get to see. I had to leave early that night, so I didn't get to see Zeb's set or whatever. But I'm glad that he's the current champ. I like Zeb a lot.
Yeah, he crushed. He did a great job.
He did a great job.
Good for him.
And failure to prepare is preparing to fail, because that's exactly what happened to JJ. He copied and pasted his notes wrong or something, he said, so he just didn't have them, and that was it, man. Game over.
He copied and pasted his notes wrong.
Yeah, so I think from what he said, he took the notes he wrote for Kyle, he copied them into Zeb's spot too. So he copied them into Kyle.
So is he like, if I go against either one of them, I'll use these jokes, but he went against both of them, and so he couldn't use the same jokes twice.
That's rough, man.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
It is what it is.
You're going to lose a roast battle. That's what you're going to do.
Exactly. Here we are. Zeb is doing it. And we've already asked you a lot of these deep diving questions. So it's kind of like, what is something that you would be afraid people find out to roast you about? Do you
See,
have
I
any
was
just
I was
hidden-
I was also thinking about that on the way up here about my first time on the podcast, and I don't necessarily feel like I gave a lot. I don't think I was very helpful to the other.
Oh, I
comedians.
disagree.
I didn't feel like I gave a lot.
I
information.
I don't think they used it really. I think I had some based on
Did you?
those jokes, that material.
Like, oh, you used to be in a gang. I don't know, like
Yeah, the initiation for that was
right.
excellent.
No, it was memorable. It was a memorable experience.
What was your initiation like? Can you tell us about it? Or is it all top secret like a fraternity?
It's on Pornhub.
Yeah, if you want to see the video of my initiation, go to my Instagram, the links, follow, subscribe, click that button. Watch me get initiated. No, so it wasn't like a fraternal secret, like where they like in the mafia, like they burn the saint picture of this family saint in your hand. And
Oh my god!
it's nothing.
I didn't know they did that.
Well, I'm just telling all kinds of secrets now.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't anything like that.
That seems like a really good way to catch people in the mafia. It's like, show me your hands.
We so I
Show me your hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
no, it was all done by vote. We had to so I prospected with two other guys. We got our prospect kit, which is basically just on your back, just your top rocker that says prospect.
Mm-hmm.
And we got that January 1st, 2013, and then we all three patched out June 28th of that year. And
so you were only prospecting for like 6 months.
just under.
Okay.
Just
It's a long
under.
time to be in a diamond mine.
Well, every
Boo.
every club is different. Yeah, you can see I really took the bait on that one.
Yeah.
I appreciate you ignoring it completely. That was smart of
It
you.
was a great. Every club is different on how they choose, like how long the prospecting phase should be. They have minimums. Like some clubs say no less than 6 months. Some clubs say it's a year. Some clubs say there's no time limit. It's when you're ready or when we tell you you're ready. So it just depends on the organization you're joining. Mine was a 6 month minimum, but making it 6 months didn't mean you got in. Everyone in the chapter had to basically give the approval to say, yeah, we like him. We're going to bring him
So it has
in.
to be a unanimous vote.
There cannot be any second guessing. If there's one person that says no, he needs more time, he needs more time. Everyone has to be unanimous on it. And because the nation is so big and it's a global enterprise, it's impossible to get a thumbs up from everyone that's a member.
Mhm.
You just have to get the approval from your chapter that you're prospecting out of. In mine, it was Little Rock.
Gotcha.
Once we got the approval, that was essentially they brought us into. We were at the clubhouse. They brought us into the meeting room one at a time, and I won't say what they told us because that I'll keep that private. But at the end of it, they were kind of like a little bit of hazing, and then they were like, "All right, man, you're fucking."
What was the hazing? Like, did they like hit you with a belt or something?
So no, it's not traumatic like that. It's more anxiety based. They want to. It's a mental game.
Okay.
They want to push you. The whole thing about it, like, it's physically exhausting. Like when I don't know, in 2013 when we did our birthday party, we went down to Austin for that party, and it was 5-day long event. It was from Thursday afternoon is when the prospects start showing up. Friday night is when the party kind of really gets started and people start pulling in. Saturday is really the big day. Sunday is the day where everyone's kind of like getting their whereabouts. And usually Sunday or Monday morning is when everyone kind of goes home. As a prospect, we had to be there Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had to stay the whole time and work that event. And then when you were there, anyone who's a member can put you on a mission, give you something to do, So they'd be like, if they caught you walking around and it didn't look like you were busy, it was open game. They'd call you over and then they would play these little mental games with you. They'd drill you and ask you questions about, who's your stepmother? And I won't. Anyway, the stepmother is a nickname for the second national vice president or national president of that club.
Okay.
But his nickname, he had a few, but they called him Stepmother.
Is a dude?
Yeah, his name's Ronnie Hodge.
How do you, I don't know how I'd feel about the nickname Stepmother.
Really
Well,
messes
the
with
original
my-
founder, the original president, we called him Mother.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. Like, what is the? Because how does
How does
like a biker gang, the leader of a biker gang, get the name Mother?
I'd never asked how. That was Don Chambers. He was the initial founder of the Banditos. I never asked how he acquired the name. I just know that it was a name that he occasionally, from some people, like certain close people in that organization, would refer to him as Mother, and then Ronnie, Stepmother, and so forth.
Okay.
I mean,
I think
we
it's
also called Ronnie. We also called him Mr. Prospect. There's a lot of
Prospect.
different nicknames. There's a lot of different backs and forths and what.
I'm so curious, but also I don't want to be disrespectful because I'm not trying to get rode up on by a gang of
Yeah.
banditos.
I really, I'm
Yeah.
avoiding a lactation joke.
I'm not. Look, the mother and stepmother stuff. You could get on Wikipedia or Google and just Google Banditos MC, and some of this stuff will come up. Names like Don Chambers and Ronnie Hodge. They've got a website. Some of that history is on the website. Just stuff that's like pamphlet, like not real, like. And then on 11/6 of 1970, we all went. And it's nothing like that. I'm not saying anything that is going to get anybody, in trouble.
Right.
And anybody would be me. It wouldn't be you two. I'm not worried.
We
about
definitely
it.
don't want you to get in trouble.
I'm not worried about
But
it.
stepmother, it sounds like he got stuck in a washing machine.
Well, he's
Yeah, what was that hazing ritual like?
he's since moved on to the Forever chapter, so
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Is that
In
death?
the sky?
Yeah.
Okay, the
That's-
Forever chapter.
Yes, when you pass away as a member, you move on. You leave your chapter and you move on to the Forever chapter.
Okay.
So
Get that Harley Davidson
In the
made of
sky.
gold.
yeah, on streets of gold with tire burnout marks and shit all over it. Yeah,
Hell yeah.
yeah. This street needs a rejob done, man. Fucking.
So when you're not like doing stand up, I know you said earlier that you have like most of your time goes to providing for your family, which is awesome and really admirable. But like if you had one day, like say Saturday's coming up and you don't have work and the wife's taking the kids somewhere and you don't have them and you got the whole day to yourself, like what are you most excited to do?
Masturbating with no one in the house.
Fair. Okay.
No, oh god damn, I don't know. It's
That's very fair, though.
no, I mean, it kind of is, right?
Yeah.
What's better than no one's in the house and you can just kind of fucking, just
Put your legs in the stirrup.
dude, I go all out for myself. I treat myself.
Got you, light candles, get some mood music going.
No one treats me like I treat me.
Dim the lights. I get it.
Yeah.
Put that
Get that.
stepmom porn on.
Siri, dim the lights. Okay. Play Barry Manilow. No.
Put that smart house.
I think when I'm not, if so the Saturday, like for Saturdays come up and got nothing going on, probably hop on the bike, take some miles. If I'm not going to do that, call up one of the homies and see what they got going on. And a lot of times I'll come up to Benton and hang out with a friend of mine that lives there. I've got a good friend of mine that lives down the street from me in the village. I'll hop over to his house and we'll go hunt. And
You hunt?
I do.
What are your favorite things to hunt?
Well, I like to deer hunt. I prefer to bow. I like, rifle and muzzleloader. That's fine, but there's something to me I just really enjoy bow hunting.
Bow hunting's fun as fuck, man.
I've got a Jennings 5000 compound that I use. It's got an 80 pull. I really enjoy just a ground blind. I don't necessarily need to be up in a tree. I just like being on the ground and just being sort of in that environment, kind of being in nature. I enjoy that. I do. The motorcycle sort of, in a way, I mean, you're all obviously in nature when you're riding.
Yeah.
In the elements, you're exposed to everything from wind and rain and whatever elements are out there. But I wouldn't even really classify myself as much of an outdoorsy kind of person. I just, whatever. I'm open to things. If someone said, "Hey, we're gonna go on the lake this weekend, I'll be like, great.
How long have you been bow hunting?
I got my first bow when I was 17, just turned 39. So a few years.
Fuck yeah.
A few years.
I love bow hunting, man.
My dad used to work for Mountain Valley Water, and they've got private hunting ground up in Jesseville, and we live in the village.
Mm-hmm.
So we would just go over to Jesseville, it's right down the street, and go onto Mountain Valley's property, and whatever we could kill, as an employee there, he had free range of the land.
That's dope.
Don't deer kill a lot of bikers every year?
I've known some bikers that've been killed by deer. Absolutely. Shout out Spaz, 1%er, died on his way to. Spaz was killed on his way to Sturgis one year.
Damn.
From Lubbock, Texas.
Where at? Was he in the Ozarks?
No, he was from Texas. I think he was coming out of Lubbock that weekend. But anyway, we always used to really prefer riding at night.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah. You can typically go faster and not have to worry about as much traffic.
Right.
There's less cops on the road, which is also pretty cool. Unfortunately, that because he was heading up to Sturgis, so that time of year, and I want to say he was out of Texas, but I think he was somewhere in Nebraska when he got hit. And it was very, very early morning. They had to med flight him to the closest hospital. Unfortunately, didn't make it.
Yeah, my buddy's dad died on Halloween Day, driving through the Northwest Arkansas, hit a deer.
Was he on a bike?
Yeah, he was on a motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be really shitty if he wasn't.
Yeah,
what we were just talking about. Well, he was on a lawnmower.
Yeah, no, the deer came in his house.
It had a shotgun. It's like, fuck you.
The deer had a vendetta.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of getting at. Is like there's like kind of this give and take here with these deer.
I love
a lot of bikers.
I think, and bikers. That's why I hunt.
Yeah, this is for spaz.
Kill as many of them before. I mean,
yeah,
sort of like an Israeli-Palestine situation. Just get them before they get us.
Smart thinking.
We used to go up to Jasper. They got elk fields up there, and we would take our bows up there, and it was really cool because I put in every year to draw an elk tag, but I never drew one, and so I never got to hunt the elk. But going up there around the elk herds, there's a lot of big deer up there too, and we would hike in and then shoot a deer and then carry it out on our backs. That was a lot of fun.
My dad's from Alabama, and they're from his family is from Oxford Anniston, which is like 60 something miles from the Georgia Alabama line.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got Mount Cheaha up there, Mount Cheaha Harley Davidson. You guys rock. But they used to go camping and hunting on Mount Cheaha, and he took me when I was like 11 or 12, and I swear to God, the coldest hunting experience I'd ever been on top of that mountain. Froze my ass off. Hated that. I like to hunt, but there was probably 2 foot of snow on the ground, and we're camping in tents, and the shit is cold, and I don't fuck with that, dude. So,
yeah.
Were there any creatures in the cold?
I didn't see any real creatures in the cold. I saw some deer, but I was so frozen I couldn't. It's like Jack Nicholson in The Shining, just waiting to thaw out. I couldn't even pull the bow back.
It wasn't.
Because I was rifle hunting that year.
Oh, I see.
It was last year or the year before, I got a nice pair of coveralls for Christmas, and that was a game changer for me because I always get cold deer hunting. And I grew up duck hunting, so I'm used to being in the cold and being in cold water and stuff, and you just have to suffer through it. But now that I finally got coveralls, like insulated coveralls for my outer layer, man, I can go sit. My parents got a place up in Marshall, up on this mountain, and it's always like 20 or 30 degrees colder there than it is here. And so going up there to hunt, having them coveralls, it's a game changer.
When I would ride, we'd go long distance in the wintertime, and I would get snowmobile gear.
Yeah.
You see a lot of bikers traditionally use a lot of leather. Leather's great, but there's something about, sub-zero temperatures. When you're on a motorcycle at, 22 degrees and you're going 80 miles an hour, you're chilly.
Yeah.
Right.
Snowmobilers, they got it going on, man.
What does that do to leather? Anything? Does it really affect it?
Constriction. It makes it really, really cold. But the thickness and if you got good leather anyway, it'll keep you warm. But and I was never a big fan of chaps. Never understood the chap thing. Never got it.
I don't have chaps. I got a bike, and I like riding in the wintertime just because I don't like riding in the summer because it's so fucking hot. I hate sweating. And being on asphalt in the sun when it's 100 degrees outside, fuck all that.
It's
So
pretty bad.
I'd rather put on like long johns and a couple layers and ride my bike when it's cold outside.
Interesting.
Fall to me is the best time to ride.
Yeah.
Just something that's good, hoodie weather,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah,
Ironically,
that's
when
nice.
all the deer
I know,
dipping out, walking across the street.
I know,
It's gonna be a good day. Larry.
fucking
Go.
whore deer.
Kamikaze fucks, dude.
Do it. You're a deer. Who gives a shit? Jump in front of it.
So that's pretty much all you do is hunt deer, masturbate, and take care of your family.
Not
And stand
always,
up.
not always in that order. I occasionally, I like to. No, I don't do anything. Now that I'm thinking about it, I actually don't do anything. I think all I focus on right now is stand up, and the kids. That's pretty much it.
Do you like have any like when you're like really on the road, maybe sneaking a meal? Do you have any like guilty pleasure fast food meals?
I don't feel guilty over pleasure, ever.
Okay.
Never.
Philosophical here.
If it feels good, then that's all right
Yeah.
with me.
Our stomachs are growling.
No, dude,
Thinking about that double smasher at Sonic.
you know what? I'm not a big fast food guy.
Really?
I'm just. I mean, I have to eat it if that's all.
Can't
that's
really
around,
eat
but
on a motorcycle.
no. I mean, you can, I guess, if if you really wanted to. There's a will, there's a way. I don't. I wear a full face helmet, so that's
Yeah.
really difficult
Okay.
to do that. But no, just I'm not a big fast food guy. Never have been. I like a good double cheeseburger, but I would rather sit down at a actual restaurant rather than a fast food place and eat it.
Yeah, it's about the same price.
But when I'm on the road, I don't eat a lot, especially when I'm riding. I don't eat a lot. It's the meth.
That helps a lot, I've heard.
It does, man. That shit'll fucking get you going.
Never had the chance.
Have you ever
never
done
done
meth and rode your bike?
Never.
Yeah.
Really?
He's in
Yeah.
a bike gang, dude.
Well, I didn't know if he was joking, Seth.
Yeah, whatever we didn't sell, we did.
Okay. What is that like? I can imagine that's exhilarating.
Have you played
So
Grand Theft
the-
Auto?
I haven't played Grand Theft Auto. I think the only Grand Theft Auto I played was Vice City when it came out. My buddy had a PlayStation. I didn't have a video game console. My buddy had a PlayStation 2, and that came out on PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. He played that, and I got to watch.
How are you not terrified to do meth and ride a motorcycle? How is that not?
I feel like
It's like you take testosterone, you get injections.
I've never done that. No.
You never taken T?
Uh-uh.
Okay. Well, how old are you, Bear? 39, 40?
31.
31?
Yeah.
You're not there yet. When you hit about 37, go talk to your doctor.
Ruh-roh.
He's just, you're 37? Here, you need this. He's not even going to do any blood work. He's just going to, give you a script. Depending on the dope you're doing, because I've had some that really ruins your weekend. But it's like, I don't know, man. It's like hitting that go button over and over again. You
I've taken Adderall.
it's like an Adderall in a way. It's just more potent. You last way longer, and it's sort of like kind of giving you that good humming kind of mood. But when you do a drug like that and you don't eat, which is essential to eat, your body needs it. It's burning everything else. You don't eat, and it requires you to not sleep. Then you get.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And that's when you get all kind of loopy. Seen a lot of.
This is what we're looking for, baby.
Yeah,
That roast
I've seen
material.
Yeah.
I've done meth. I've done crank. I've done all that shit. And
What's the difference between meth and crank?
Whoa,
Who you
one's
buy
a
it
Jason
from.
Statham movie.
Okay.
who you buy it from? That's about it. That's-
Okay.
I'll tell you a story. This takes me back to like 2015. We were in Hot Springs, and the girl I was dating at the time, which I'd been with her for years at that point, but she and I and a club brother of mine and his wife, we were at this hotel in Hot Springs, and the Hot Springs rally was going on that weekend, and there were some clubs that were coming into town that we just wanted to keep an eye on, and so we knew.
Is that like a rival gang that you just want to make sure they're
They're troublemakers.
Man, we just want to make sure everyone's having a good time.
okay?
So we were gonna, kind of pregame and get ready for the weekend. We're sitting in this hotel room, and you know, like in a hotel, you got like that one table that's got like a chair or two chairs.
cuck chair.
Yeah. The cuck chair.
Mm-hmm.
So we're sitting in our cuck chairs at the table, and I won't say his name because he also has passed away, and it'd be disrespectful to do so. But he looks at me and is like, "Hey, she gonna be cool?" Talking about the girl I was with. I was like, "I guess we're gonna find out, man. I don't know."
Yeah.
So he's like, he fucking got the shit and he laid it out, and it was already cut up. He just started lining it out. And
So do you snort it? You snort meth?
So you can snort it, you can eat it, you can shove it up your butt for all I care. But if you're gonna do that, you're gonna do it in the bathroom.
You can eat meth?
Yeah. You just so I like that. Wet your fingertip, get it like that. Put it in your gum line.
Okay.
Just a pinch between your gum and tooth.
I mean, this shit.
So it's like a dip.
It's
kinda.
like Pop Rocks 1,000 times. Like, it's fucking crazy. Snorting gets rough because it'll tear your fucking nostrils inside like really, really badly.
I've heard bad things about snorting.
Yeah. So I mean, but anyway, so he's lining his shit out and we're getting ready to do it. And the whole time I'm kind of like looking over at her because she's sitting on one of the beds, and I'm just looking at her expression, and she's like, because she came from like a very nice, like, you know, grandfather was a preacher, very religious, very good people,
Yeah.
like very good people. Hadn't really seen anything in person like that. That's like something you think about in a movie or something. And you know, we did what we did, and she was like, "I didn't know you did that," and I said, "Well, I don't do it a lot." And she's like, "Well, how often do you do it?" And I was like, "Only when I need to." Well, just whenever that is, you know. When we came back from Sturgis one year, I think it was like 2017. We left out of Rapid City and went to Rapid City through Wyoming to Loveland, Colorado, and then we stayed the night in Colorado and then came back the next day. From Loveland, Colorado is like up near the border of Wyoming. It's like Loveland, Colorado Springs. It's around that area, right? Maybe not Colorado Springs, but to get from there to get back to Little Rock in one shot, you couldn't do it without some help.
Right.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
Had
How
to-
many miles to the gallon do you get on?
So on the bike I have now, 140 to the tank. So we used to do
140
like
per tank.
100 miles an hour for 100 miles, and then we stop, fuel up, stretch, do it again. So every 100 miles you're stopping. That's how we used to do it.
Okay.
How long? Like 100 miles. 100 miles an hour. So you're doing it in an hour. I can do math. Look at us.
Yeah.
I can't do meth though. Fuck that. I will not. You won't get me.
You can't say that.
How do
just
you-
don't know?
How do
you're
you
right, you're
stop?
right.
Like, because once you do that, I've always heard. I mean, obviously,
I
how
never had an
addicting
issue
it
getting
is.
off of it.
You didn't.
Not once. Never. I haven't done meth or speed or anything like anything related into the family of amphetamine. I haven't done anything like that since before I got out of the club, and that was in 2021.
Gotcha.
I never had that problem. I never had that issue of, you know, that proverbial monkey on your back kind of thing. It was never an issue for me to just utilize it as a tool to get where I needed to get, you know.
So, like the Nazis used it.
More like the Japanese,
I mean, it's like fucking Zyklon B, man.
or both,
Fucking-
or like us. in
What's
year
the hangover
20
like?
There's not. It's a come down. What's it like? It sucks. Yeah, it sucks. You just feel, it would feel like getting out of the ring after fighting Mike Tyson in his prime.
Wow.
Your whole body hurts. Nothing, and you're disoriented, you're dehydrated. So there has to be a recovery time. You have to, what we try to do is like try to get back home from wherever it is we were at, and then have at least 12 hours to rest before you went to work. Because we try to like come home Sunday and try to get some sleep before you go to work Monday morning, that type of shit.
Okay.
So you'd have to like have some sleeping pills on hand, whatever it was, whatever your magical prescription was that got you to relax and calm down. But,
Damn, that's crazy.
seriously,
Yeah.
I have seen guys lose literally their entire lives over that shit, and
Right.
it's a sad thing. I mean, I don't know the intricacies of disease and addiction, and how some people can handle certain things better than other people, how your body is. I'm not a specialist in anything like that. I've done some shit, but that's it. But I can say I am the exception to what is very commonly known as the rule, is once you start, stopping becomes very difficult.
Yeah.
Or, unfortunately, you don't ever get over it. And
Yeah.
it can really bite you.
What's the craziest thing you've ever seen somebody do on meth?
I'm on meth?
Yeah.
I don't know about I've seen so many things. I don't know about on meth. I've seen people. There was this guy down in South Louisiana, or close to it. It was like around the Alexander area, and he worked for an oil company. And he didn't work on a platform, but he worked for an offshore company. But he was mainland, and I think he was into scheduling or I don't know, something like that. He worked with computers, but it was for an oil company. And then he got hooked up with us, and he started to party. And I like to party, but you can party too much. And he went from a guy that in that industry makes very good money, beautiful wife, family, everything was good. And then things turned out not so good for him. He ended up losing his job, failed a drug test, lost his beautiful wife and his kids because he liked the speed and he liked the running and gunning that we did. You know, that it's a very attractive, kind of romanticized lifestyle. At least it is now. 20 years ago, realistically, 20 years ago, nobody wanted to be in a motorcycle club unless they really wanted to be in a motorcycle club. And then you had to go search it out. You had to find these people that were already established. Or you could start your own thing and then get fucking hurt. People don't like that. I mean, do your own thing without permission. So I've seen people lose literally their entire lives over dope. And I hate that for them. And I have empathy for that because I didn't have that addiction. I had other addictions. I was addicted to chasing women. I was addicted to
Porn.
I never got addicted
porn.
to. I started writing this joke, and I'm not going to burn it on this podcast, but it has to do with the escalation. Like, I remember porn was like you found magazines in the woods. You know, you had that experience.
Yeah.
Too? Okay, I'm not
on the
only
playground.
One.
It was that an older kid had hidden a magazine, a picture, like a ripped out page of a magazine under a root on the playground.
An older kid with a really cool van.
Yeah.
Used as bait. So it went from like Playboys in the woods to dial-up AOL internet. We really spending a lot of time hoping to see some boobies to now you have to have like ID, right? You have to have like an ID to get on Pornhub, or
you
have to like sign up with an account, and they need all that kind of stuff. So the escalation is so wild to think about just in our lifetime. You know, none of that shit really does it for me anymore. You know, I think I've seen too much.
The woods porn.
It's a simpler time, man. It was really, I wouldn't say a better time.
Yeah.
But it was a simpler time.
Simpler.
It was a simpler time.
Yeah.
I think we knew less and we were happier because of it.
Yeah. And you like didn't even usually, you just had to like memorize that picture.
I'm really fortunate that I discovered heterosexual porn in the woods, because I feel like if I found gay porn, I might be a completely different person.
Oh, the porn that it was on the playground, it was gay porn.
Was it really?
It was two chicks, but it was still gay porn.
Oh, it was still gay.
Yeah.
Fair. Okay.
Yeah.
We're equal rights here.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh, man, I want to see some lesbians.
Wow, that's kind of funny that like a lot of people's first porn was gay porn.
Yeah.
Because that was like the
was in
first
the
shit I
woods.
saw was lesbians for the longest time. And then like when there was a penis introduced, I didn't know penises got that big as a child. So like I was like, what are they doing with this ear of corn? Because it was black and white.
Yeah.
I was like, what are they doing with an ear of corn? It's all like unshucked.
Yeah.
I like my corn circumcised.
Is shucked and unshucked? That's like circumcised and uncircumcised.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we got us a Gentile piece of corn here.
Oh, there's butter coming out.
But that's not butter, boy.
Gross.
But you can eat it.
I can believe it's not butter.
No one else remembers those commercials.
Oh, I do.
They're imprinted on me.
Yeah. Oh, so you said you've seen so maybe not with meth involved, but what's one of the craziest things you saw in your time rolling with the Banditos?
We can assume meth was involved.
Well, yeah, we can, but
I mean, you can make that assumption.
Yeah. I do often in
Someone
life.
may have been within proximity to it somewhere.
Yeah.
Craziest, I don't, man.
because I feel because you were in from 13 to 21,
Yeah.
you had to have seen some wild shit.
I was in another club before that for 5 years.
Was the crazy shit with that club?
I rode with them for 5 years, but as much as I could, whenever I was able to, I would ride with the Bandits just to be around them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll tell you what. It's not a crazy story, but before I started really riding with them, I didn't know much about that kind of life or what it entailed. And we were going to go down to Biloxi, Mississippi. Then we had regional meetings back then. You'd have every chapter and every club that was within your organization would meet at a particular location once a year, usually toward the beginning of the spring, and have a regional meeting. And that was just to get everyone within your region, which was Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama, was the southeast region. And we'd have all our clubs convene and have meetings talking about, what we needed to be doing or what was happening in our individual locations. And so we're going to have this meeting in Biloxi, but we got there a day early, and we got there at 9:00 at night to the casino. And we walked into the casino, and I looked at one of the guys and said, "So do we have rooms?" And he said, "No." And I said, "Do I need to get us a room?" And he's like, "Can if you want to." I said, "Okay, what do we do? What are we doing?" He's like, "We're going to go gamble." All right, fuck,
Okay.
let's go gamble. So we go into the casino. It's at the IP Resort in Biloxi. Great crab legs. So we're at the casino and having a good time. I go up $200 on a penny slot, so I'm feeling good. And around 2-3 o'clock in the morning, I go to one of the guys. It's like, "Are we going to get a room?" And he goes, No, I'm just going to stay here and gamble all night. I said, okay. I'm so tired at this point. My eyes get foggy, glazy over. I had contacts in too.
Oh, no.
So they were all fucked up. I'm like, God, I'd really like to lay down right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then we didn't get out of the casino until 10 the next morning, 10 or 11.
Wow.
Meeting was supposed to be at noon in Gulfport, which Biloxi to Gulfport is 10 minutes, 15 minutes, something like that. I think we got there around 12:30, 1 o'clock, because we had to stop and get lunch.
Yeah.
It was the guys that I was riding with, they were running the meeting. They were the
So they couldn't start the meeting without you.
That was exactly what he said when he walked into the building. He's like, "Y'all made it on time." And you're like, "You can't have a meeting without us." He just sauntered on in and sat down at the head of the table. That was the man. But that was one of those eye-opening experiences. I've seen people get pulled out of cars and beaten on the side of the road. I've seen this one guy used to be in Shreveport chapter. We were sitting at a gas station. We were on our way to a funeral, actually. And he was eating fried chicken out of this gas station. And we were in a hurry to leave, and he wasn't done eating yet. So he just shoveled what food he could into his mouth and threw the styrofoam container away. Getting on the bike, so we haul ass out of the gas station, get 5-6 minutes down the road, and he turns and looks at me. He's missing his front teeth. He's had dentures. He left them in the styrofoam box. He was eating the chicken in. They made a prospect go back and get his teeth, so this fucking kid has to go back to the gas station.
Dig through the
Dig through the trash to find those
Go
teeth.
find my teeth.
Oh my gosh.
Fuck that prospect. He's a piece of shit.
You so you said you were in a club before you were 13 too? Was it 4-H?
No, before
no,
13,
I was
2013.
before-
Oh, 2013.
yeah.
I think-
Yeah.
I got
I guess I
into-
heard that you were in a motorcycle club from
No. I got into
13.
my first club in 08.
Okay.
I left them 07, 08, and then I left them 2012.
Okay.
And then I prospected January 1st.
Excellent.
What got you out of the motorcycle club? Why did you stop riding with them?
I had my daughter who's 7. When her mom got pregnant, the girlfriend I had at the time was really upset that I got this other woman pregnant, and
Understandably so.
I mean,
Women.
she wasn't wrong. But she said to me at that point, she said, well, now that you're going to be a father, you're going to have to get out of the club. And I said, why? All the brothers have kids. And she's like, yeah, but they're not all good dads. And I was like, bitch, you don't know what the fuck you talking about. My brothers are good guys. Usually.
Yeah.
And
Aside from the, pulling people out of cars and beating the shit out of them, doing meth, going across the country, they're pretty good guys.
Yeah.
I mean, the ones I rode with were.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, that's just not going to be, that's not, you don't understand. That's not how, I'm not going to let that happen. And then it happened. And I was, it seemed like there for a while, it seemed like every weekend I was gone. If I wasn't gone on the road, out of state, I was dealing with problems here in town, here in Arkansas, and dealing with problems with support clubs and all their bullshit. So I felt like I was always stressed. I was always going and going and going. And then my stepdaughter, who's with us today, she requires a lot of attention because of her condition. My youngest daughter, she was a baby and then a toddler, and a lot of stresses with work. Work 6 days a week, wife, 2 kids, and then at a certain point you stop and you step back and you look at where your life had gone and the things you valued and the things that were important to you when you started that journey no longer were as important to you as this other thing,
Right.
these babies, and it was sort of like saying it was time to grow up out of that. They were going into a direction that was very unfamiliar to me, and I thought it was a good time, maybe the best time, to step away from it. I had experienced the Waco shootings in Waco, Texas, and I wasn't there physically. I was supposed to be there that weekend, but I didn't go. And it's just a matter of time.
Is that when they had a shootout at the Twin Peaks?
Yeah, the Twin Peaks restaurant.
Okay, I remember that.
So the only bandito that was killed that weekend, his name was Manuel Rodriguez, and he was a very good friend of mine. We called him Candyman. We called him Candyman because he always had like sweet tarts and fucking shit on him. He was kind of a bigger guy. He always had he didn't give a fuck about diabetes. You know what I'm saying? He had to have that candy. So he always had some sweet on him. When you lose someone, I've lost a lot of friends due to violence. You don't want to be. If there was a way you could avoid it yourself and you didn't avoid it, it's kind of your fault.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was just a good time to let the other guys, do what they needed to do and take their own journeys.
Yeah. So is it like a blood in, blood out situation? Like, how does one leave a motorcycle club? Is it pretty easy going where you're like, guys, I can't do this anymore? And they're like, thank you for your time. And
depends on the club.
Just
Okay.
like click leave the Discord. You gotta
look. It's it's not like there these like stories about like street gangs where it's blood in, blood out. Once you're a part of us, you can't leave us. It's not a mafia.
Okay.
You most definitely can leave. I've seen guys leave because family situations. I've seen guys leave because they got jobs. They were like really. We had a guy in our chapter in Little Rock that was prospecting and was gonna make it. Like we all knew he had the potential. He got a job in Florida. There was, yeah. She is. She is not allergic to anything. She's allergic to a bad time. You give her spaghetti, she's gonna have a good time. Get the paper towels ready. But yeah, I've seen guys leave. He got a job in Florida. They don't have a chapter in Florida, so he couldn't move his membership to a different state that he was going to be going to. But the job he was going to take was going to really, it was like one of those once in a lifetime opportunities. It was a great opportunity for him and his family. Can't be mad at that guy for that,
Yeah.
He's trying to better himself. And he went to Florida. He's back now, which is great to have him back. But I don't know, as far as his participation, he had to leave in order to go. So I
Right.
don't know if he ever tried to go back to the club life or whatnot. But I kind of don't think so. Last time I ran into him, it didn't seem that way.
Yeah.
But you could get out for any number of reasons, and you could get out for any number of ways. It just depends on the organization you're a part of and how you do it, and also what they want out of you. Sometimes they want something out of you. Sometimes you have to give a little piece to get some peace.
Give me an example of something that somebody would want out of somebody.
I've seen guys sign over their titles to their bikes.
You got me fucked up.
Serious, man. I've seen
You
it.
got me fucked
Serious,
up.
man. I've seen it. Yeah,
They have to give up their bike?
they have to. Well, I mean,
Well, I mean, they do, or they're going to get the shit beat out of them or
I
something.
didn't say that.
Well, I know you didn't, Red, but we all know what the implication is here.
He's insinuating over here.
I am.
does that?
I am. I'm filling in the
Insinuating
gaps over here.
extreme violence and prejudice to someone that made an agreement with you and didn't live up to their end of it.
Yeah, take that over getting
Crazy.
Do I get to keep my bike if I get my ass kicked?
This bike that I fucking paid for, like I don't get to keep it.
So that
Kick my ass.
was an old school practice that I was a part of. Our chapter in Little Rock was the first chapter outside the state of Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're going back to the 1960s. So they're very traditional in how they've always operated.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was something, that was a custom that we had, but it wasn't a custom that everyone had.
Mm-hmm.
It was just something that had been sort of part of tradition and very traditional in our way of thinking. So we just kind of kept that on. But nowadays you see guys, it's not, and I'm not speaking about the Banditos at this point, I'm speaking just in general. Some clubs will want you to pay like an early like membership fee. So like, hey man, you give me $1,500. If you make it through prospecting and you patch out and become a full member, then you can get your money back. But if you don't make it, I'm keeping the $1,500.
Okay.
I've seen things
So it's like
that.
a deposit.
Yeah. But I didn't care for that. I like the idea of signing your title over, because if you weren't going to do this for life, you didn't need to be doing it.
Right.
I had no intention. When I first joined, I had no intention of leaving. I was going to die in that cut. They were going to bury me in it. I was going to have I'm kind of pissed because I was going to have the largest funeral procession the state of Arkansas has ever seen. And now I'm not going to have that. It sucks.
Damn.
I know. Cheated
Well, you
myself.
won't be here to enjoy it anyway.
Right.
So it's not like you get to watch the procession yourself.
I know it. I don't know, man.
Well, Red, do you have anything else going on that you'd like to bring up or hype up before we get out of here?
Let's see what's happening. So the next roast battle is January. Do we have a date for that?
January 2nd.
Second.
First Thursday
First Thursday
of January. We're moving it from Mondays to Thursdays. It's going to be a lot better.
Okay.
At the joint.
It's also at the joint.
Mhm.
Okay. So I will be participating in that. Who am I going up against?
We don't have the bracket finalized yet. It'll be one of those four that I mentioned. So either Donnie, Nick Moore, Adam Maldonado, or Zeb Ballantyne.
Okay.
Well, Zeb will go in the second round because he's the champ.
'Cause
So
he's
it'll
the champ.
so it'll be Nick, Adam, or Donnie.
Okay. And all those guys are funny, so I'm going to have to really bring my A game on that one. So I'll be doing that, and then I'll hit up any open mic that I can between now and January 2nd. But I'm working on maybe doing like a film project, maybe in February, the beginning of March.
That's cool.
I started buying equipment, some cameras and some rigs, and I got to buy a new computer. And unfortunately, Santa Claus ain't bringing me one, so I'm gonna have to save up a little bit,
Right.
and kind of get that process going. But I think I have everything ready to go by the end of February, if not before, and be able to do some filming that I want to start doing. It's comedy related. I've been writing skits lately.
Nice.
Okay.
And I'm enjoying that process too.
Yeah.
because my comedy is not skit based,
Mm-hmm.
but I really like I like the writing process
Mm-hmm.
very, very much. So I'll just be doing that. But I'm a unknown comedian. I don't have anything to plug except the podcast and then the roast battle.
Fuck yeah. Well, we thank you very much for coming on, man.
Thank
Really
you for having
appreciate
me.
it.
It's pretty
Absolutely.
rad. Hopefully we'll be doing it again in February or March.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You got anything coming up you'd like to talk about, Seth, before we get out of here?
I guess our show. I'm going to be in Memphis Sunday the 15th. I don't know if this will be out before that.
Yeah, it'll be out.
So if you're in Memphis, holler at me. I'm going to be at the Lafayette with Michael Palisak. And then the
Michael Pile of Sack?
Piles of Sack. Yes, that's his name. It's Irish. Palisak. Oh, Palisak. He's really funny. And then January 25th at Old Bank. We'll be back at Old Bank. And then I'm trying to flex up the rest of the schedule too. So I'm hoping to fill in a lot of those gaps there.
Hell yeah.
A lot of those gaps.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening. Please like and subscribe. It helps out tremendously with our channel. And if you enjoy what we're doing here, make sure you come out to the Joint in North Little Rock. It's in downtown Argenta on January 2nd at 8 p.m. We're going to have another roast battle. It's going to feature Red. He's coming for that belt. It's going to be a great
It's gonna
time.
be a blast.
We're going to have to take that belt out a little bit. I've been putting weight on. So if I win this
If it'll
thing-
fit JJ, it'll fit you.
Oh, he fit it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Barely.
you're good.
I mean, it
I'm
was
solid.
kind of like when you get that leather in the cold and it starts stretching a little
Stretch it
bit. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's cool.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
love
man.
you guys.
Love you. Peace.